Robert, talk a little bit about just transitioning from summer to fall camp.
Well, it didn't feel like much of a transition. I kind of told the guys today we're kind of out of camp. We're almost in game week, which is hard to believe, but we're 8 days away from playing a really good team. And the way the calendar is now, you kind of start in June. You really do. And we could have played a game a month ago and felt pretty good about it. And the reality is we're fully weaponized now. Feel like we're close to being in game shape, and we're ready to roll.
How important is Charlie and even getting another backup just because of his physical play at that position?
Yeah, it's like saying how important is oxygen. Charlie, we have to take care of him in practice. If he has a big year, we have a high ceiling. And obviously he's got to stay healthy. Things have got to fall our way. And the way the region's shaping up this year, it's, we could be 2-7 and be the 7 seed. We could be 7-2 or 8-1 and be the 2 seed. And there's probably 5 teams in our region that are in the same boat where they could be the 2 seed or they could be the 6 or 7 seed. And so it's going to be a fun year filled with competition, but that's why you do it. You don't take jobs in this region if you're not highly competitive, if you don't believe in yourself and your program.
You like to play at a high speed. Has it been hard to try to get your guys up to that tempo? Like you said, we're coming into almost game week.
Right. No, I think the way we practice like that in February. It's interesting. I had a conversation with Kevin Kelly, the guy that never punts, a couple of years ago, and he said something that they practice similarly year-round, football, like actual football. I think there's a lot of great drills and skills, but in the multi-sport world that we live in, where a lot of our quarterbacks are in baseball, we just have to play and get the learning while we're getting in shape and while we're trying to get as many reps as possible playing at a frenetic speed. And our kids are used to it. It's shorter practices, but high volume of reps, and that translates to Fridays.
How important, like you said, you got multi-athletes playing different sports, trying to get them here in the fall and just get them acclaimed to, hey, you're playing next week. How important is making that transition for
Well,
them?
it's really important because if we don't have our baseball players, I don't pay my mortgage. That's the reality. You have to accommodate the multi-sports. And really, the reality is we love seeing our guys wrestle and play basketball and play baseball and do lacrosse. That's old school, 25, 30 years ago. Most programs now, especially in our region, are year-round. There's obvious advantages to that. But this is truly community-based. We have 117 players on our roster. I believe we have 2 transfers out of 117. And so this is always going to be a community-based, multi-sport program that's player-centric.
What do you like in your team this fall?
Man, I like our offensive line. I think it's about as good and tough of a group as we've had. And then obviously Charlie, if Charlie performs at a high level, we have a big year. And we have obvious concerns, but we return 8 or 9 starters. We have a great senior class that's been in a lot of big games, and yet we got to find some sophomores and juniors that can supplement and help. Traditionally, when 2 of your 3 classes are really good here, you got a chance to be pretty good. We feel really good about our senior class, and then we need some of the younger sophomores and juniors to come on and fill some key roles.
Just, talking about some things happening, recently with you and Hoover, trying to move that game. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, man, I've got a lot of thoughts, but first I've got profound respect for Hoover. I was there for 8 years, from 2010 to 2018. It's a large job, but that job is filled with expectation. You don't take that job without realizing you have every built-in advantage known to mankind. The largest school in the state, lots of athletes, I think the second most Division I players in the last 10 years, and their players are tough. Their coaches they have good coaches, good players, great program, great respect for their program. My take on it is that a lot of the officials that were in the decision making don't have a reality or respect for the history of what Hoover and Vestavia used to be. And it's unfortunate that people outside their program probably have a better understanding of their program than they do. And it'd probably be a good thing to study the history and to study the long-standing history of Hoover and Vestavia. It's a great game, should be played in the best environment possible. And I'll probably leave it at that.
What do you see in your 3 non-conference schedule this year?
Yeah, well, we only have 2 because we couldn't get a third. We have Parker and Benjamin Russell. Profound respect for both programs. Really enjoy getting to know and talk to Coach Warren. He's got a really good thing going downtown in Smithfield at Parker. And then, Coach Johnson was the head coach of Alabama, Mississippi. We had some discussions, several months ago, got something worked out. And it's really unique, all 3 of the first, and then we play Thompson, the third week, which the program speaks for itself. And 2 of the first 3 games we have Alabama quarterback commits. I don't know if that'll ever happen again in our history, but we look forward to it. We run to it. And, you know, if we could play them 3 days in a row, we'd play them 3 days in a row, because that's the way we're wired. That's the way we're going to be wired. But we also have respect for our region, because this region will humble you. And if you're not ready to play, you could walk out of the season with a 2-7, 3-6 record. But the reality is, you know, we're likely somewhere in between. If we can get into the playoffs, hopefully get a home game for the first time in about 14 years, and be healthy at the end of the season, that's kind of where you want to be. And then anything happens. The new playoff format is awesome. Very appreciative for the state and Central Board for passing that back in December.